Welcome back to the podcast. I'm here with one of the bestest of friends. One of the people that I would always sit with when I didn't have my normal lunch, during school, because we somehow always had the same lunch during like 2 hour delays and stuff, which I loved because I looked forward to it. This is Jessica. Jessica, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Jessica.
Hi, Jessica.
I was apparently fun to sit with at lunch, so that's like the nicest compliment I've ever gotten ever.
Did you like how every single time I asked you if you wanted my extra bag of fruit snacks, and I kept forgetting that you didn't accept them because you don't eat gelatin? But I just kept asking you.
It was nice that you offered. Yeah, it was nice that you offered.
I kept asking you, though. What did I learn from high school? Remember. So sorry, I'm interrupting. Go ahead.
Well, okay, I love to talk about myself, but when I have to like just talk about myself, I don't know. I'm Jessica. I like dogs a lot. I mean, I like all animals, but I really like dogs. I'm very passionate about animal rights and like feminism and shit. Not that they go together.
Women are animals? No, men are animals. Let's get that correct.
Actually, animals are better than humans, and well, I guess humans are animals, but you know.
Yeah, I want to mix that up because somebody would be like, humans are animals. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had to tweet that at somebody. They were like something about animals, and I was like, okay, humans are animals, you dumbass. Can we cuss?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Cool?
Okay. Did you see how I had to make David's explicit?
Oh yes, I did. I was like, ooh, this is edgy.
I really don't care.
Cool. I want to be explicit. I want to be on the explicit side of the whole spectrum podcast.
Hell yeah, go ahead for it. So okay. You're into it sounds like you have a kink for animals and feminism. You're what are some other things that you're like hardcore for? Like what are you? Now this is a whole spectrum podcast. There's a rainbow on the cover. What do you identify as?
I'm straight. I'm cisgender, if I know that term correctly.
Bingo. So you're cool. Heterosexual?
Yes, I am. Oh, I'm white, so yeah. But I'm also a lady, so I got that one bad thing. Oh, that's it's not a bad thing, but
hi.
That's
Are
like.
you doing a podcast again?
Hey, Jessica, I know you can't hear. All right, Emily, you can't hear Jessica, but I'm talking with Jessica. So, Emily, is there anything you'd like to say to the podcast?
What are you guys talking about?
What Jessica identifies as. So, anything.
I say identify as whatever you want. Support everybody. Everyone makes their own choice. You're your own person. Why should anybody else care?
Because it's nasty, Emily. It's gross.
But
it was not intended. Was it? It wasn't.
No.
Okay. Can I call you back?
You can call me back later.
Like how later?
Doesn't matter. Michaela's gone for most of tonight.
What's that supposed to mean? Oh wait, I'm live on air. We gotta be careful with this.
Keep it clean, kids. She's out with some friends.
We'll talk about that one later. Much love. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, much love. Sorry, Jessica.
Bye.
Fun on the podcast.
I will.
She will.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay.
Sorry. Me and Emily have a very unhealthy relationship. By unhealthy.
That seems pretty healthy to me, but.
No, unhealthy by the terms of, if we don't talk once a day, we will become depressed.
Honestly, though, I mean, okay, it's like a little codependent, but like it's cute, so.
It's codependent, but it's exactly 50-50. So it's
Yeah.
like kind of healthy. Because when codependency is like 70-30, that's when it gets, whoa. Just throw it out there. Me and Autumn's relationship freshman year. Talk about codependent. Oh my gosh, was she crazy? She doesn't listen to the podcast, so I can.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does she listen? Because
I'm gonna have her on one of these times, but she probably won't listen to this one. So, Autumn, if you're listening, text me and say that your favorite color is green. Her favorite color is teal. Well, it's actually mint, but yeah, I guess it's green. Okay, so sorry, we got off topic. Podcast. You identify as hetero. You're a hetero.
Yeah.
Hetero.
Yes, I am.
Sorry. Are you an ally or do you hate the gays?
I'm definitely an ally, but as you and David discussed in their you got that episode, I firmly believe that A in the LGBTQIA, is that right? Yeah.
Yep.
The A should not ever stand for ally. It can be asexual all day long and only asexual, because allies do not need to be included.
Yeah, I mean, okay, you've heard it here first from a heterosexual. The A in LGBTQIA is in fact not for allies. I feel like I should know. I know a lot of people are just doing, LGBT plus, just to be safe.
Yeah.
Let's see what the acronyms are.
It's super long. I know that much.
Oh, got it. Okay. So, the letters in LGBTQIA refer to lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, so I was right, intersex, or asexual, or allied.
Nope, allied gets thrown out immediately.
Okay, so I'll just go on Wikipedia, get rid of that.
Yeah, we're bystanders. We don't need to be in it. It's not our thing.
PQ, what's PQ? What the? Oh no. I'll look into it.
Okay.
LGBTQIAPK.
As P pan?
What's K?
I don't know.
Kink?
No.
No, because
That shouldn't.
P is for polyamorous. So that's joke. That's just an Urban Dictionary myth.
Yeah, why isn't that? Shouldn't that be for pan?
Pans
They're
don't
not
exist.
included.
They only exist in kitchens.
And in Greek mythology.
And the flute player, right? He played the flute?
Yeah.
Flute to Pan? Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to
He's
my
like a
buddy
goat dude?
Pan. He played the flute. Why is Kink in there?
That's like again like what you and David were talking about in that podcast. It was like having people who are into kids. Like pedophiles do not fall under the LGBTQ plus thing.
And couldn't you identify pedophilia as your kink?
I think kinks are usually not illegal.
Got it. And
I mean, that's how I would, differentiate.
So my ideas, what I've heard, what I've listened, what I've deduced, kinks versus fetishes. Do you know the difference?
No. I mean, yeah, no.
Kink is something that you're attracted to that's related to sex.
Oh, okay.
Fetish is something that you are turned on by, but isn't related to sex, like feet.
Okay.
And so, if you have like a tie me up kink, that's already related to sex, right?
Yeah, but what if you just like to be tied up, not sexually? Since that's a fetish.
I don't think you can just get tied up and not be in a sexual demeanor.
I mean,
If
never
you're
know.
consenting, why would you get tied up? I guess you can consider it a fetish, but the basic, you know.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm just trying to break the definition already.
Yeah, you're just trying to go off on my word, Jessica. Stop. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, what are your thoughts on polyamory?
Um, wait. So that's when you're in multiple.
I'm
Like,
poly
it's like
now. Yeah.
it's like or it's like multiple people that are all dating each other, as
They
opposed to like sister wives who just share one person.
Hold on. My name is Ethan, and I don't know my. The philosophy or state of being in love or romantically involved with more than one person at the same time. So I don't think it's. I'm pretty sure that you can be polyamorous, but like, say there are 3 people, there are 2 guys and a girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The 2 guys could be dating like girls outside of it. I don't know.
Okay.
I'll have to get somebody that's poly on here. Oh,
I don't know if you should do that.
why not? I'll turn into poly.
No. Well, okay. Well, based on that definition, my opinion is that I don't understand it. I've definitely watched like documentaries and stuff where people are, and it just always seems like one person is like a little like less included than the other 2. Like, it kind of, I don't know. I think relationships really only work with 2 people, but if that's what they want to do, go for it. I mean, I don't.
As long as they know
I mean, like,
that it's like, they know that it's probably only going to be between the two, and then one's going to get left out. If they actively seek trying to include the 3rd person or something like that, I'm not going to say poly people are stupid. Well, no, because I can't. Bro, you do.
Yeah, I mean, teach their own. I feel like there would constantly be one person that's jealous, and then like one person that's like high on life because they're getting all of whatever is involved.
Yeah.
I don't think you can split a relationship 3 separate ways. But I mean, yeah, people, you do you. If it works for you, it works for you.
And I'm seeing something. Do you know the difference between polyamory and an open relationship?
An open relationship, you just have like it's like the main couple. So like, I guess dude, lady, whatever. Or I guess lady and dude also, if we're gonna keep it hetero.
Yeah, keep it hetero.
And then so it's like the main people, and then they can just like do whatever they want, but they're not like, because I feel like when people have like open relationships, they're usually married, so it's kind of just like openly cheating, but I guess it's not cheating because the other person knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also think it's weird, but again, people do whatever they want.
Yeah, you do you, as long as it's not harming anybody in any way.
Yeah.
As long as all the people involved are consenting adults, you do you. You do you. Have you done much research upon the idea of consent?
Yes. I mean, I don't know if I'd call it research, but definitely like I've looked into it before, because I feel like every time there's some kind of like the Brock Turner case.
Yeah.
And people were like, oh, like, well, like some people were saying like, I don't know. So, yes, yeah. I think some people were like, oh, she like, she lost her right to I don't know. It was some stupid bullshit where people were trying to defend a rapist. But yes.
That's what we do nowadays in America.
Yep.
That's what we do.
So, or if you're Twitter, you just dox people.
Exactly. And anywho, I'm gonna get too fired up. Go on. Sorry.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I've looked into consent and what is considered consent and what is not.
Because I don't know if I shared this with you, but something that blew my mind There was a TED Talk about it. And dang it, I keep saying I'm gonna stop. Okay. Dang it.
It's fine. It's a normal conversation.
That shows that it's natural. I should just like edit out every no, that would be like like so choppy. Nobody would want to listen to it. But I saw a TED Talk that was indicating that some people in the past have tried to say that, oh, well, if like the girl was quote unquote wet, okay, if she was wet, then she obviously liked it, so she was consenting.
Yeah, no.
And that's false, because even if your psyche, that's not connected to your physical body. Your physical body will
your biology.
Correct. And so when people make that statement, I just want to punch you in the face. Sorry.
Yeah, that was a big point on an episode of Law and Order SVU that I watched when I was much too young.
Yeah.
But I remember that was like a thing. This like girl, she was like gang raped or something, and they said it was like, oh well, she liked it, like, you know, blah, like, you know, and it was just like, no, that's just a biological response. That had nothing to do, like, she did not like it. She was still definitely being raped.
You can't control the way your body responds.
Yeah, people who say that. Yeah, people who say that are just, they're idiots. I don't know why they're trying to, like, they're just trying to like cover for what somebody that they know did or what they did.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, no, that's not an excuse.
Yeah. Well, she didn't say no.
It's like, well, she was unconscious. If she woke up, said no, and then, you know, passed back out, that'd be impressive.
And these are the same people that are pro-life. Sorry.
Oh, do not get me started on that shit.
We'll get into that after animals, feminism, and no. So I skipped a major important part of the podcast. How did we meet?
My earliest memory of you is in 7th grade. We had Miss Stieber together in math. I was thinking about this the other day.
We did.
And yeah, we never sat near each other, but we were in the same class.
Carlito?
And yes, Carlito was in the class, and Paige, and I think Van and Dominic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember anybody else, but yeah, and then I remember Paige had a crush on you in 7th grade.
We both had active crushes on each other.
Okay, and it never happened, and now you're gay, so.
No, because we sat next to each other in career exploration. I should have her on this podcast so we could go into depth. We sat in career exploration next to each other, and one day, I don't know, she gave me a note, or she told me, oh, I'm suicidal. And so me being a kid who was young, not experienced in dealing with people at all, nevertheless, mental health topics, which included life and death matters.
Yeah.
And I had a crush on said person who told me that they were suicidal. What did I do? I told the principal. Now listen.
No!
Now listen.
I don't think I've ever actually heard this story.
Okay. Now, at the time, I felt terrible, okay?
Well, you were doing
Looking
the
back,
right thing.
it was kind of sweet. You know, it was kind of cute. Because I was like...
Yeah.
Although it put Paige through a lot of trauma, I'm sorry, Paige. That was very... Oh, I can't... She was so angry, but I didn't tell her it was me. I only told her it was me in, like, sophomore year, and she was like, oh my god. And she'd gotten over it, right? But still...
Yeah.
I told
you did the right thing.
I told the principal because I obviously liked her, and when you like somebody and then they say that they're gonna kill themselves, you're like, please don't. I'm gonna do everything possible to make it so you like. Even if I didn't like her, I would have
Yeah.
still been like, I don't want you to die, you know, because then I won't have somebody sit. No, I'm kidding.
It's like, it's all about me. I'm the
It's
selfish
all
one
about
in this
me.
situation.
I am the sun. You are the planets orbiting me. But that was a fun time. And then it was way after. It was like sophomore year when we both came out, and we were talking about 7th grade, and we were like, yeah, I had a crush on you. And she was like, yeah, I had a crush on you too. And I was like, of course we did. Like, we sat next to each other, we did all this stuff together, and we had crushes on it. Oh, nasty but cute.
It's
But
cute.
that was the same year as Miss Stever's class, and
Yeah.
Can I be completely honest with you?
Yeah.
I do not remember you being in that class.
That's fine. Yeah, we literally never talked. I think like me and Paige sat together, or at least near each other, most of the year, and you were always like kind of like away.
I was
'Cause,
up
like,
at the
I feel
front.
Yeah, like I feel like we've always like, because you went to you were at, I don't want to say the middle school, but we were at the same middle school like the entire time, right? You were there from 6th grade to 8th grade.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like we like definitely like always like, because we were like basically friends with the same people, so we were just like near each other a lot, but I don't think we ever talked,
Yeah, I think,
or at least not enough to remember.
did we have, I know 7th grade, back in Ferguson, the first
Yeah.
time we were in Ferguson, not the second time. The first time, like, I knew you existed, but it wasn't, you're just at the time one of Abby's friends,
Yeah.
which we could go into that later if you want to or not. I don't really care.
I can't. I mean, I'm fine with that. Yeah, sure.
Okay, but I only remember
Relate.
that, and so that was during the period where I'm like, I hate gay people because I'm afraid to admitting to myself that I am type of phase.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so anybody that was like around her, I was like, oh no, because she's probably a lesbian, but you're not. No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
But would I love you if you came out? Absolutely.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely. But I'm not gonna force you out of the closet. That's rude. But like I was saying, did we have gym class together with David?
Maybe?
8th grade year?
I don't think I ever had gym with David.
Maybe it was like,
That I can.
do you remember? Because one day I'm like 90% sure that you were in that. I don't know.
Well, just say it, and then I'm either in there or I'm not.
Okay, well, during a day we could either I keep saying either. I really need to work that one out. Don't say or either. We could either choose to play kickball, or we could choose to sit in the stands and talk with our friends.
Oh, I definitely sat in the stands.
I definitely did too.
Yeah, anytime I didn't have to actively do something in gym, I wasn't doing anything.
Now, I don't know if you might remember this, but at the time I was able to recite Weird Al Yankovic's I Like Small Butts, the entire song. No, you don't remember.
I do not remember this.
Okay, well, I
This
could.
is-
Wow,
This is a good story.
I guess we weren't friends. That's not even the point. But we could choose, and then it was like me, David, and like some girls, of course. Me, David, and some girls.
The ladies' men.
You're so right. Okay? So right. That's another podcast. That is how I was the ladies' man, and I did not like the ladies.
That's okay.
Once again, not the story that I'm trying to tell. me and David were sitting there with other girls, and I thought you were there. Maybe like Rachel and Paige were there. And so only because I remember seeing you all together, I assumed that you were there. Like Shelby was there too or something. So they were playing kickball, and we were talking about probably, I don't know, stupid stuff, as you do in 8th grade during gym class.
Yeah.
And the kickball, somebody kicks the kickball into the stand and hits me in the head.
I feel like I vaguely remember this.
Now, to all of those wondering, I wasn't sitting in a very easy spot for a person kicking to actually hit me in the head. So the fact that they
You
did,
were targeted.
I was targeted. I was targeted before I came out, which is
Yeah, it was
showing
a
you
hate
something.
crime. It was a pre-hate crime.
But I just remember, because I had my glasses on, so it always hurts more when you have glasses on. Because
Yeah.
the glasses go into your head, and
Yeah, not a good time.
But I thought that maybe if I jogged your memory with a story, you would believe me and trust that you were in the same gym class.
Wait, it was 8th grade?
Yeah, in the new building in Coy.
Wait, what period did you have?
One of the later periods.
I had 7th. Or no, I had 8th. And it was first quarter.
Let's go on progress book. No, I'm kidding. That sounds vaguely familiar.
Okay, were you there? Because I remember this was my gym class. Were you there the day that the teacher, the girls' bathroom had gotten or the girls' locker room had gotten trashed the day before, and the gym teachers, specifically Mrs. Wren, who had a vendetta against all of us because we knew that she was a homewrecker, she was convinced that eighth period, the 8th period girls did it, even though it was the basketball team.
Yeah, I remember
and then
that.
They made us run the perimeter of the gym until everybody because people kept. I remember Cammie Bazilla stopped to tie her shoe, and then they kept adding time onto it. Yeah, were you there for that?
Because they made the guys do it too, right?
Yeah, everybody was doing it.
Yeah.
And then we ran and for I think it was 20 minutes. I was counting, and then we had to put our hands up the T pose, and we couldn't drop our arms for that was actual abuse.
Remember that.
Okay, then yeah, we were in the same math class. We were in the same gym class.
That is crazy. Because I remember going around the circle a million times.
Yeah, we did it because anytime someone stopped, it was oh nope, 5 more minutes, and I was and then they pulled out I think Aiden Tidwell was in our gym class.
Oh, God.
And I remember Stevie, they both got pulled out, and they were the monitors. So it was okay, you pull the 2 most athletic people, so they don't have to run. What is this
favoritism? Another podcast.
Yeah, I wish.
Let me write that down.
I wish I could go back to 8th grade and just tell myself hey, you were gonna just not do anything and fight the power. You should have done it.
Yeah.
Or gone to the principal or something. You can't do that. There's no proof that we did anything. You can't physically punish us. Ugh. And that's even worse because we were young and we didn't know what was right and wrong.
Young and impressionable. That's where they get
you. F Mrs. Wren and whatever that dude's name was. Mr. Allen.
Yeah.
Oh, that short bastard. He was more flexible than me, and I was so salty.
Anywho, did you remember? Because during that period, I did pass out.
Wait, when we were running?
No, we did a line drills.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember doing line drills?
Yes. I love how we were tortured as 13-year-olds.
Yeah, and they just kept going, and I was I feel like my head hurts. And then Miss Wren looked to Mr. Allen, and Miss Wren was yeah, his lips do look really, really white. And they're you should probably go to the nurse. And on the way to the nurse, I pass out. And it's oh
my God.
my gosh.
There was like two other people that had to go to the nurse because they were having like asthma attacks. Is there a statute of limitations on like
We should sue them.
child abuse? I mean, I definitely wouldn't sue them, but I'd want to get them fired, definitely. Like they can just work somewhere else. But like that was awful. Ugh.
Did I
hate it.
grow from that? No, I got crippling anxiety because no. I can make them
root
pay
cause
for
of
my
my-
prescriptions for the rest of my life. Oh
I
my.
mean, my $4, so I don't know.
Let me tell you, mine are expensive. Get all on that Prozac. Fun. But
Is it like name brand or is it like the generic? Because I know there's like a big price difference.
it is the generic,
Okay.
but it is a lot of it.
Okay. Well, you know.
Because I have like 7 to 8 more months of 50 milligrams
Oh, so you have
Per
a
day.
lot.
per day. Yeah. So.
Okay. I get 30 at a time. Guess they don't want me dealing it.
Oh no, they give on the base. They just hand it out like it's candy, which is great, but not if you're especially now that I'm switching. I'm gonna have
Yeah,
all this
like
leftover Prozac. So, hey, drug deal. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, that's like 6 times 3 is
18.
yeah. So I have like 9,000 pills. Yeah. No, divided by 3. Divided by yeah, that's about right. Yeah. Not 9,000.
Math with Ethan.
It's 3,000. Yeah, I have about 3,000.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, it's gonna expire before you can use it up.
Surprisingly, it won't because it's the generic kind, so they don't care if it expires, so they don't put an expiration date.
You don't have an expiration date?
No.
Oh, all of mine say like a year from like when they're like given to me. I mean, they probably still work.
It's a farce. Where do you get yours from? CVS? Walgreens?
Yeah, CVS. Yeah, CVS pharmacy at the Target, as what my psychiatrist always says. He asks every single time. It's like it never changes. Thank you though.
Hey, as long as routine can be good. Routine can be good. I mean that. But how do we like actually start talking? Because I think it was sophomore year, our first year in the big building, during lunch.
Yeah.
Because we had the same lunch, right?
Yeah, because we sat there. There was a table that no one sat in, like between our two tables, and I'd like come over and visit.
Yep. And then towards the end of the year, you actually sat over there with us, right?
I don't know if I ever like sat at the table because it was always so full. But then like towards the end of the year, I sat in the table that no one was in prior, in that middle table, so we were closer, definitely.
That was a hoot. Oh my.
Oh yeah, sophomore year was my year of growth as a human being.
Me, David, Rachel,
Megan.
Oh, my wife. Shout out to my wife.
Was Ryan Jeffrey there? Or no, I think it was Eversole.
Yeah, Eversole was there, but that's before he was like known, because Zach was there, and so.
Oh yeah, Zach was there.
Andrew was
the water bottle incident.
We're not gonna go into that. I'll go into that when I have his girlfriend on the podcast.
Oh yes, because Autumn can tell you the story so well, even though she wasn't there.
No, I just want to tell it to her, so like she feels bad.
She probably knows it, but it's a good story.
Amazing story. But that's when I came up with so many catchphrases. Oh my gosh, what a time! What a time to be alive.
I remember you had that magazine that said, "What if Mary had an abortion?" It was like some Christian magazine.
I did.
I still have the picture on my computer.
Oh no. Okay, one, I want you to send that to me sometime. and even if you're able to, like, I will put it into the podcast.
I'm
But
gonna find it now.
go ahead. It was, yeah, that was a time. That was a time, especially because I was like struggling hardcore. But you know,
I feel that. Yeah, I missed. Oh, yeah, that was a bad mental health year. Oh, it was like a bad mental health like 3 months. And I had to like get on more medication, and then it was just it was a time.
yeah.
But I'm probably a better person for it. I say to myself.
Would I change it? No. Yes. Would I go back and change everything? Of course not, because then I want to learn from my mistakes, and who knows where I'd be right now, you know?
I hate that I found this picture so quickly.
You did?
Yeah.
Can you email it to me? Is that possible?
Sure. Can you text me your email?
I'll just say it over the podcast.
Okay, I mean, that could get sketchy, but go for it.
No, my email is on the 5,000 different business cards that I bought, so I'm gonna be handing all those out to my neighbors, so it's fine.
Okay, yeah, you might as well put it on the internet.
Exactly. It is.
It's safe.
My name, so Ethan Parks.
Okay.
The number 1.
Oh, one or just one?
Just 1.
Okay.
At gmail.com.
If you use Gmail, we can't be friends.
What do you use? Hotmail?
Yes, I use Hotmail.
Oh God.
It's so much more visually pleasing.
Oh, see, for my business, I have Outlook, so it's
oh yeah, it's Outlook, but yeah.
It's Ethan at parksfinancialnetwork.com.
I mean, I'll send it to your Gmail. I just don't.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
If you just want to make sure that the email for Outlook is in your phone, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Let's see. So what classes did we have together?
Besides 7th grade math, I don't think, and then I guess apparently 8th grade gym, I don't know if we had any classes together.
I wish we did.
Like, yeah. We always got gypped. Because, yeah, I'm trying to think, what? We had our homerooms were next to each other last year, so that was, like, the only time that we saw each other. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. Any other classes that we had.
Wow.
That's what I missed about, like, elementary school, like, yearbooks, is because you had, like, your one class, and even if you forgot who the person was, like, you could just, like, go through and it's like, oh, yeah, okay, they were there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, you can't see that in middle school. It's like, I don't know what classes I had with them.
Yeah, and I have short long-term memory loss.
Never heard of that one.
I remember very certain things, but everything else is a blur. So it was even me talking about the only memories that I have from middle school are the traumatic memories. Which I'm sure
that's fair. I remember the most obscure things ever, and I don't know why. It just happens.
Yeah. I mean, you can't go back and fix it. So, today, what is your favorite thing about yourself?
Wait, what? Can you repeat that?
What is your favorite thing about yourself?
Like physically or personality-wise?
I mean, I wouldn't want you to say my feet, because that would just totally throw the podcast off. It's not that type of podcast. Not. Please don't click off. Trust me. Personality, probably, like the way you act around people.
I like my honesty and like. I mean, I guess this is more for me than like when I'm around other people, but like my like introspectivity, my ability to be introspective. I don't know.
Explain that, please.
Like when I don't know if it's because like I don't want to use that as an excuse, but like I'm an introvert.
Right.
I think I think about things like very like thoroughly, and it also could be like an anxiety thing, like me just trying to explain something that doesn't necessarily have an answer. But
Yeah.
I think about things a lot and like really try to like break down why I do certain things, like why I like certain things, and like
I do
just like examine my own personality traits
Gosh.
and like
That's crazy. So, would you say that you're um that's like a m- mostly good thing? Do you regret that you didn't have it for some things? Does that make sense?
yeah, like I wouldn't think about certain things.
Yeah.
No, because I really like, I think the more you know things about yourself and like maybe some things that you like wouldn't even like really think about thinking about yourself,
Yeah.
I think the more you really like know yourself, you can make the best decisions and, you know, act accordingly. Like I think a lot of people um actively go against what their kind of mind or body wants them to do, and I find that just like knowing myself and my personality, I know my limits, and it just makes life a little easier.
Yeah. Good for you. Oh my!
Thank you.
I wish I was that. Oh, you wonder why I have you on the podcast? Um, just to give Ethan advice in life. What? The whole spectrum, aka give Ethan ideas to better further his life.
I love giving people advice. People usually don't take it, but I like trying.
Well, if they don't take it, fire them. That's my motto.
Okay.
That-
I don't think they're working for me, but thank you.
As owner and CEO of Parks Financial Network, I've fired multiple of people, aka no one, because it's an agency and I just got started. So, you know, it just
Hey.
makes my business card look cooler.
You'll have a chance to fire somebody. Don't worry. You're young.
I'm young. I can fire someone. Yes. Uh, I'm cynical. No. What if you could? This is gonna get sad. If you could change one thing about yourself, personality-wise, what would it be?
Um, I think sometimes I let my like nerves and anxiety hold me because like so like the other day we're gonna do a little anecdote. So like first day of classes,
Mm-hmm.
my last class, this guy comes over and like I'm like waiting in the hallway. He comes over and he sits next to me and we like have a little conversation. It's going fine. And then he asks me for my phone number and I shut down because it's like for me like I know the difference between anxiety and just like being normally like just nervous, like normal nervousness.
Oh,
But
trust
like
me.
yeah, in that moment I could not differentiate and I was like no, like when you when something causes you to even have the slightest feeling that's like anxiety, you just you shut down and you're like, oh, I don't want to do this. And so I think I hold myself back doing some things just because like I don't want to have to deal with that, not physical pain, but you know, like mental pain of like going back to that anxious state.
oh, oh yeah. Um, I find it interesting because so you, for all the listeners out there, um, if if they haven't caught on by now, you have anxiety. Is that correct?
Yes, and also depression.
Okay.
It's a nice little duo.
Yeah, I got lucky. I only have anxiety. I can't even imagine. If you mind telling us, which one is worse for you?
That's a really good question because I've thought about this before. Again, the intro, I can't say the word. Um, I'd say, yeah, I get, okay, so it's like, I mean, I don't have, I do have wood near me. Knock on wood. I haven't been in I call them states. I haven't been in this state for a while, because modern medicine. But,
Praise the Lord. Sorry.
Yeah, usually it would start off as anxiety, and then I'd get depressed about having anxiety, and then it would just turn into full-blown depression. But like sophomore year, when I was, going through friendship stuff, that was just pure anxiety, and it's more physically painful because like anxiety hurts my chest, but I think depression is worse because there's nothing worse than like hating everything about life and yourself for no reason. So
Yeah.
yeah, depression is definitely worse, in my
So,
opinion.
you mentioned something very interesting about how anxiety led to depression. So, would you say like anxiety was the catalyst, and it would like,
I don't.
would you always get depressed after you're anxious, or were you anxious and then sometimes after you get depressed? Because that blows my mind. I can't imagine what that would be like.
I think so. I think it. So actually, I think it probably because like so eighth grade was when like I was diagnosed and everything and all. So I missed a ton of school. I think it started off as just like I think I was just like kind of like okay. Have you ever heard of oh what's it called? It's like something that's not dysphoria necessarily, but it like you feel like you're pulled like you're not in the real world. Like you're like
Yes.
I can't think of it. Yeah, that I had that a couple times at like the beginning of eighth grade, and I was just like so freaked out. So then like the anxiety was like creeping, but no, it wasn't. They don't always go together. Sometimes I was just purely sad, and then but then when I'd have to go back to school after missing a bunch of days, I was like, oh, I don't want people to like ask me questions, whatever, and then the anxiety would like kick up, and
That would just
then
make
they
it
were like
worse.
yeah, and I wasn't on like actual like anxiety medication until sophomore year. So that was like, because I don't, the medication that I'm on, I don't think it does anything for anxiety. I think it's like, I mean, it says it does, but I don't think it does. I think it's like specifically for depression. So when I was like going back to school in eighth grade, like all of the anxiety was happening. But
Yeah.
yeah.
What is so? To those podcast listeners who don't know, and obviously this is, you could not say if you're afraid of HIPAA and stuff. But I currently take 20 milligrams of Prozac and 75 milligrams of Effexor. Do I need more Effexor? Yes. Am I afraid of telling my doctor that because I don't want to look like a drug addict? Yes. But what was the medication, I guess the medication you're on now? Because I've done a lot of research with SSRIs. Um, I'm no doctor,
Yeah.
obviously, but is it considered an SSRI?
I don't know. I didn't look into it that much. I'm on Zoloft. Like, I mean, it's the
Got it. I know
generic
all
version.
about Zoloft. Oh,
Yeah, I think I was originally put on like 5 or 10 milligrams, or maybe it's like 25. I don't know. My doctor, like my primary physician, she didn't believe me the first couple times I went in,
of
and then
course.
once I missed enough school, she was like, okay, maybe there is something wrong, and so she put me on like the lowest dose possible, and then I kept missing school, and she kept bumping it up. But yeah, now I'm on 100 milligrams of Zoloft, and I've been on that for since like May of 2014, so 4 years.
Okay, so yeah, 100. Is that what did you start on? Did you start on 10 and work up to 100, or how did they do
I
that?
think I think it actually I may have started on 25 because I don't think I've ever seen a 10 milligram pill. But yeah, 25, and then she bumped it to 50, and then I think from 50 to 100.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, so Zoloft is a SSRI. I know that if you only have it, once again, I'm no doctor, don't quote me. If you only have anxiety, Zoloft can work to relieve your anxiety. I doubt it can do both if you have depression and anxiety. Um,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I don't know anything about that because You know, I can't say that.
Yeah.
And I'm on an SNRI, which is totally different. Do I know the difference? No, but am I looking it up right now? Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
go for it.
it's a serotonin I don't know. It's more for anxiety disorders like panic disorders, stuff like that. And so, like right now, I'm taking both of them, but they usually prescribe both an SNRI and an SSRI if somebody has anxiety and depression. That way it can help both.
Yeah, I think when I went in, like originally, it was like
What was that? I'm sorry. Uh-oh. She did. Jessica! Ooh, she's dead. Perfect time for our sponsors. Jessica, when you can, whenever they allow you to come back on, great. Just chime in. Thank you to, once again, Aquaphor for sponsoring this episode. As well as Vistaprint. You can go on Vistaprint and use my code. The code is... What code did I use today? I have no clue. Oh, I'm disconnected. Hold on 1 second, guys. So, I'm just going to continue talking about my sponsors. Looks like my Wi-Fi is doing weird stuff, as it does at 8:18 every single day. But yeah, Vistaprint, just use my code get20, I think is what I used. I don't know. It's not my code. I won't get any money for it. But yeah. Aquaphor, Vistaprint, Sharpie, thank you very much for being my sponsors this episode. Jessica, are you there now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. So, my Wi-Fi got weird. So, you said the first time you went in. Could you continue that? Because that's where we left off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know where to cut. Yeah. So, yeah. And then I was always on Zoloft, but then like sophomore year, I got put on, I don't even know what it was called, but it was like a sedative that they used but like it was a super low dose and I only ever took half because it would knock me out for the day. And not like knock me out, but like my body would shut down, but my brain was still on. It was a very strange feeling, but
oh no, like being trapped in your own body. Oh.
Well, no, because like
yeah,
you were so drowsy that like nothing could phase you.
But anywho, sorry, you were on a low dose of that plus Zoloft. What changed that?
I had. What you mean, like why did I go on the low dose?
No, sure, go ahead.
Well, what did you mean? I'll answer that question.
I want both. So what I meant was, what made you get off from that low dose?
Oh, okay. So, well, I got onto it. As you may know, I had a large bit of friendship drama sophomore year.
You did?
And it's all good now. The people that I actually care about,
I was gonna say, is it really all good? 'Cause
yeah, I well, you know the person that I'm referring to. I emailed her over the summer, and we had I just kind of said my last piece, and it was an apology, but also like a forgiveness. It was a strange thing, but I'd say we're good now.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, it was super cathartic, but
it was still really terrible during the time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so yeah, there was some friendship drama. And it was a lot for me to like, it was a lot for me to emotionally handle. And so I was having panic attacks, like I was having anxiety attacks a lot, but I had a panic attack at like some point during this time, and I legitimately thought I was gonna die. And then I
Mm-hmm.
was like, "Hey, mom, I need to go on some anxiety medication because this is absolutely awful." And then I was only on it for like maybe 3 or 4 months, and then cut that. Well, I cut multiple people out of my life, and it was just like, yeah, you don't need to, like, you're I mean, I don't want to say that if you take medication you're weak, because I've been on medication for 4 years, but I knew that I was that whatever anxiety I did have left, I was stronger than it, and so I just weaned myself off of the actually, I don't even think I weaned myself off. I think I just stopped taking it.
Yeah.
um because it was taking such a low dose. It was like, I don't know how you can wean yourself off, but yeah, I just stopped taking it, and then and then I lost the pills, and then I found them recently. But
Oh, no. Don't bring that up. They can track us. Uh,
well, they're definitely expired.
they still work. You can still sell them.
I'm not gonna do that.
Anywho, so I'm going to explain what a anxiety attack was for me, and then I want to hear what yours were like for you.
Okay.
Only because at the time I didn't realize what I was having was an anxiety attack. Looking back, I had over 15 anxiety attacks a day, and this was
Oh my God.
up till and during junior year.
Oh.
So yeah. Yeah. Now, of course, I wasn't having a breakdown.
Yeah.
But whenever I got, like, say during school, I trip over my own foot. Stupid stuff like that. Somebody looks at me funny. The stupid things that make you reflect, right? My entire body would heat up, to the point where I would wear short sleeve shirts and like less clothing during the winter, because I knew I would have so many anxiety attacks that I needed to not bundle up, because I will get hot no matter what, type of thing.
Yeah.
And I never had like an anxiety, like a panic attack. And for that I'm grateful. But
Yeah, I honestly still don't really know the difference, but I like to assume that I do.
yeah, it was happening so much that I just thought it was a part of daily life.
Yeah, it was like your new normal.
And it got to a point where I was having tingling sensations throughout my body.
Oh, damn.
And so, kind of like what you said, which I was so enthralled by, because I didn't know that. Your anxiety manifested in your body. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so mine did too, but what mine did was, it was causing the muscles in my back to spasm, and my muscles in my lower back, which, if you know anything about the lower back, that's where, like, for all the nerve endings, and not nerve endings, like the central of the nerve, I don't know, I didn't take anatomy.
I know what you're talking about.
Nerve block, no, I don't know. Anyway, the muscle spasms were interrupting and hurting my nerves, and so I was having like really weird sharp pains in my upper thigh, in my feet, in my hands, everywhere. And so when I went to the doctor, they were like, oh, well, we don't know what this is. I went to the ER because I was like, this is crazy. Which is kind of like you going to your mom.
Yeah.
But different because they didn't know. You knew that it was anxiety, right?
Yeah.
See, I didn't. And so, like, I had no clue. Because I never talked about mental health. They don't talk about mental health.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah,
another podcast, so I'll have to have you back on.
I'm here for it.
Hope that's okay. But I went to the ER. They did a bunch of like blood tests, and this was on base. And then I went to the ER at Dayton Children's because they couldn't find anything on base, and they're like, "Oh, we'll just send you to the next best people," and that's Dayton Children's. And so I was in the hospital that Friday from like 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. Obviously, I switched hospitals, but still, I was in a hospital all day. And it was to a point where they were going to do a spinal tap.
Oh, those hurt. I mean, I've never had one, but I've heard those hurt.
Yeah. And so they were going to do a spinal tap because they thought it had something to do with my spine or my nerves or something. And I was like, they realized that it probably wasn't smart because all the blood tests, when they came back for everything that they expected, they were clear because anxiety doesn't, it's not like a mineral in your blood. So they can't just find that out. And so they set up an appointment. They had no clue what it was. They gave me Valium. Thanks, Valium. Valium's a
yeah, that's probably nice.
They gave it to me 5 days, and that stuff is so strong that the first day I was on like 20, the second day I was on 40, and then the next 3 days I was weaning off from it.
Yeah, I don't think I could be on that for multiple days.
So I was like, and I couldn't go to school Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday because I literally had a narcotic in my bloodstream, and it was, lit, dude. It was, I was like, I want to drive, and they're like, no. And sorry,
not a good idea.
I'm getting off topic. But after that, I had an appointment with the neurologist on base, and she said she did a bunch of the nerve tests, like where they tap the bottom of your foot and do all that, and she was like, have you noticed that you've been shaking? And I was like, no, I just thought that was normal. Like entirely through elementary school, middle school, high school, I just shook my legs. I just thought that was a way of me keep myself busy, right?
Oh yeah,
like,
I do it all the time.
Exactly. And I noticed that it picked up more once I started taking medication. But if that's the only side effect, I'm down with that. 100%.
Oh yeah, the side effects of my medication are weird as hell, but I would not. They're totally worth it.
Yeah, but the neurologist, she was like, there's nothing wrong with your nerves. It's only your it's your nerves, but it's not your actual nerves, right? It's your anxiety. And so that's when that was hard because I didn't want to admit to myself that there's this weird stigma about mental illness. And we'll get into that when we do our podcast about anxiety, strictly about anxiety, because this was kind of like, get to know Jessica, a regular on the podcast. So, but tell me your story just before we wrap up. You went to your mom saying anxiety, bad, give me pills. Not
I mean,
not like that, obviously.
well, yeah. Oh yeah, because like when it was like, it's what I would say was its worst. I was already on the Zoloft, so like I was already very like hyper aware of like my emotions and like that kind of thing, and like I could tell when something was off.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I was just like it. Yeah, when I have anxiety, it's just like it feels like there's like a 10-pound weight on my chest, and it's not even like when I'm hyperventilating. It's just like trying to breathe normally. Um, and so that's like always like a dead giveaway, that because it's just like, yeah, I cannot physically breathe. And then if I have like an anxiety attack, I will start hyperventilating, and then it's just, yeah. But I think I always had like, I don't know if this is like I'm lucky in this case, but I always had like very like normal anxiety symptoms, so it was pretty easy for me to like self-diagnose at least.
Yeah.
And then of course, like, you know, just like kind of like being like, yeah, I'd get like shaky and stuff and like jittery. But yeah, I think also like you said this, but like I think I've always had anxiety since I was little,
Same.
just like I guess from being a shy kid or whatever, but like it didn't truly like fully manifest. I think kind of the same thing with depression, but I don't know. I guess that's more questionable. But yeah, it didn't fully manifest until like I guess I was out of puberty, which is so weird to think about little kids like having such bad anxiety. But
And
yeah,
not
and
knowing about it.
yeah, it's just like, oh, she's shy, like she doesn't like being around people. It's like, no, I physically do not like being around people. Like it's like it's not a good time. But yeah, I feel like a lot of times like people like parents like see like little like quirks in their kids, and it's like, oh, she's shy, or like she just gets nervous, you know, easily. And it's like, no, there's actually something wrong with your kid. But I mean,
She's just too
no,
emotional. He's just too
yeah, it's like no,
emotional. Like, no, that's
yeah, yeah, yeah. But like I don't fault my parents. I don't fault any parents, because it's like that's never your first thought, because it's like,
because they didn't learn
you know,
about this.
yeah, and you don't think of little kids being anxious or having like my one friend, I won't say her name because I don't know if she wants this to be known, but my one friend was telling me that she's had panic attacks every day since she was 5, and she like that's just like been her life.
That's
And
crazy.
I'm like, yeah, and her parents knew, and her parents would just, you know, say like, oh, like just calm down, like stop thinking so much or whatever. And I'm like, I can't even imagine going through that every single day for 13 years and like being as sane as she is. Like I would have imploded very quickly.
Oh,
But yeah, it's just
yeah.
like, yeah, but I think parents are so like, they never want to see that their kids are imperfect
Flawed.
in any way.
Yeah.
And of course, mental illness is the last thing that they would think of, which I mean,
Well, that's because it's just
fair.
something that there's so much stigma behind it. Why?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's stupid. I mean, you don't hear many people talking about mental health, mental illnesses in music.
Yeah. And that's why I like to, I mean, I don't, you know, pound it over people's heads, because I know that it's a heavier subject and I don't want to be the Debbie Downer all the time. But that's why I do like talking about it, or at least like sharing my experience with other people, especially when someone's like, oh yeah, like I've been like depressed, or like what I, you know, think is depressed or whatever. And I'm like, oh, well, like these are the steps that you can take. Like medication's always an option. Like never think that it's not. And like I just like try to like kind of educate people, because I know a lot of people, they don't get that. Like in health class, I think we had 2 pages on mental health, and like most of that was about like anorexia and bulimia, which is a mental, I mean, yeah, that's like body
It's an
dysmorphia and
eating
stuff, like a
disorder,
mental,
right?
well, yes, but it's also, there's like a mental part of it.
Yeah, there's
'cause,
a
like,
component.
yeah, but I was like, they were really focused on that. I mean, I remember looking at that in the book, because at that point I'd been diagnosed, and I was like, wow, they literally give you the definition of depression and anxiety, and that's it. Like,
Yeah.
and we talk so much about like health and like, you know, don't do drugs and like eat well and maintain a good body weight, and it's like, yeah, but you can't do a lot of those things if your mental health isn't there, especially with drugs. I mean, like people turn to drugs or do drugs because they don't have good mental health. No happy person actively is like, oh, I'm gonna go shoot up heroin now. Like, I'm just bored in my everyday life. Like,
I want to
mental health
find
is like,
something new. Yeah.
yeah, like that's like the foundation of everything else about being healthy, but they don't talk about it, which is stupid.
Well, I'd love to get more into the stigma and like how um the I don't know if you had a good experience with your parents regarding mental health.
Oh,
Um
yeah, I did.
okay, good.
I was lucky.
Um I mean, still to this day it's hard with some people because they don't understand that the anxiety that you normally get, everybody gets anxiety, right?
Yeah.
That's 100%. The thing is, my anxiety is not to the point where, oh, well, he can't just handle his stuff, you know? He can't just handle it. We have the same anxiety. He can't just handle it. It's like,
Yeah.
can I punch you in the throat? Because you have no clue what I'm
Yeah.
going through. And it's so, like, close-minded to just, especially with mental health. It's, and that's why I want to learn more about, like, depression and, oh, because I can't even imagine what my life would have been like if I was also depressed. 100%.
I mean, yeah, it's not fun, but like I was I guess this is me like looking at the brighter side. I was telling my mom like recently. I always like, bring up like I call it the sad times.
Yeah.
Because I try to make it like cheery because my mom has like this thing where she feels bad for not recognizing that there was something wrong with me sooner and like, getting me help, and I'm always like, Mom, it's not your fault. You literally couldn't have done anything. But I was telling her like after like I went through this like pretty shitty 6 months, like I came out of it kind of with like I felt like I had a purpose.
Yeah.
Like, and I think everybody has to go through something to help them find a purpose in life, and mine just happened to be like, being diagnosed with a mental illness. But I mean, that's I don't know if I would have I have found my purpose if that hadn't happened. So I mean, like, I'm weirdly grateful for it. I still don't appreciate it, but I'd like my brain's serotonin levels to, get in check. But I mean, yeah, it's worth it, I think.
And I'd love to talk about like medicine, because that's another
Yeah.
topic where everybody's like, "Oh, well, that's not natural. Your body shouldn't actually need that." And we could talk for like 5 more hours.
Yeah, it's like, I don't care if it's not natural. It works.
That it does. And if you're saying it's not natural and you've never had it, you've never had the issue and haven't been able to solve it through any other way but through medication, you can't talk. There's like,
Yeah, it's like I wish I could do meditation to like help my depression. Like it's just it doesn't work like that because that's like I think there's like a difference between like a chronic mental illness and then well, I mean there is a difference between a chronic mental illness and then just like I refer to it as like situational. Like you've lost a loved one or something, you go through like a depressive episode or period,
100%.
but it's just like yeah, like I physically do not produce enough serotonin to keep myself like at a normal level, and so I will be depressed. Like it's not something that I can just take like
Exercise
or like
more.
do something.
Exercise.
Yeah, I mean that helps. Yeah, that helps for like the shortest amount of time. And yes, exercise is good for you for other reasons, but it's like that's not a cure-all when your body does not want to produce something that you need. It's like having diabetes. It's like you don't produce enough insulin. It's like, oh, well, like, go exercise. You'll get some insulin. It's like, no. Like, you have to take medication.
That's an
to,
amazing. Oh, thank you.
When you associate like certain mental illness thingies with physical illnesses, people seem to grasp it so much easier because it's physical. You can, look at it or like. But,
it's tangible. Because people who don't understand mental health, they think, oh, Oh, you just don't know what you're not just right. You're psychotic. Like they don't understand because they can't physically see it. Hence all the blood work, and they couldn't diagnose me with anything. But
yeah, like they didn't go to like the simplest option. Like, oh, I mean, I guess I would never assume that anxiety would be related to nerve issues, but like, I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, you don't, and because yeah, people are usually afraid of things that they don't like, they can't see or they don't understand, and so it's like, oh, I can't see the issues inside of your body, so I'm just gonna like believe that you're making it up or you're just not tough enough or whatever, and it's like, no, but thanks.
Yeah. Oh, that makes me so angry. Well, we have a lot more to talk about. This was amazing. I'll have to have you back on very soon.
Okay.
I will
always
be
free.
I will be back in Ohio next week for a couple days. So probably next weekend.
Yeah, I don't think I'm doing anything.
Hell yeah.
And if I am, I'll cancel.
Well, please don't. Because I'm not paying you.
If it's a family thing, I'm definitely canceling.
Hi, my name's Ethan, and I use my friends to talk about their problems on my podcast. Thanks, friends. But this was fun. Thank you, Jessica, and I can't wait to talk more about anxiety because
such a fun topic.
Yeah, mental health needs to be talked about.
I mean, yes, it does need to be talked about.
Yeah, straightforward. You know, like, boom, mental health is real. Boom, fact. Yeah. Boom.
Get it on a shirt.
I'm gonna create shirts. Hey guys, go to my FanJoy. Go to Amazon.com/Ethan Parks. Don't. It won't exist.
I mean, I'd buy it. Do it.
Anxiety is real. Just like, my anxiety is not the same as yours, and on the back it's like, fuck you. No. You don't understand me. You know my name, not my story. Or you know my name, not my mental condition.
That one's a little questionable, but the other ones were good.
Jessica's like, oh no. Oh, that was terrible. Yeah. I'm just gonna...
We'll too far.
Okay. Well, once again, thank you for coming on my podcast. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure.
Like I said, you'll have to come back soon.
Yeah.
And
I'm down.
I mean, unless you don't want to, then.
No, I want to come back.
People play that pity game. Like, if you don't want to, I mean, like, you do, but like, you don't want to.
Yeah, I actively want to come back. I want to be on every episode.
We should do an episode where you and David are on too. We'll do that pretty soon. Okay?
Can you have multiple people on at once?
I can have as many people as I want.
I say that as two of us. Like, there's two of us already on this. Yeah. I'd totally be on this with David. I don't know what we would talk about because I don't think we're interested in the same things. But yeah,
it'll just be like lunch all over again.
Oh God, that was so much yelling though.
Oh, you're right. Oh, so much yelling, so much anger, so much angst.
Yeah, but if he's constantly recording in a public place, he can't yell. Yeah. So we're good.
Accurate.
Got that safety net.
Accurate. You wonder why I, actually, for those of you who don't know, David saw that I was doing a podcast, and in the beginning, do you remember hearing that he said, I asked the question, why are you on this podcast? And he was like, I'm going to forget you asked that, and then he went in about talking about his life. He was like, I was born in 1999 in Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
That's because he heard I was doing a podcast and he sent me a text. And it's funny because the text that he sent me, I was like, I didn't even know David had my new number, right?
Yeah.
And so he sends me a text saying, put me on your podcast, nerd. Also, hi, how's life? And I was like, okay, well, Well, I'm glad that this podcast is forcing me to talk with my friends.
That's the
But
most David way to reply to or to like say it's like, yeah, have me on.
yeah,
Like I'm
nerd.
also gonna insult you.
Yeah. Hey, isn't yeah, I don't know. Flattery and insult. I don't know this saying. I'm not smart. I didn't go to college.
Well, I think we all just started college, so we're not much ahead of you. So you can catch up now.
You're right, but I don't want to.
I mean, yeah, that's totally fine. I get it.
All right. Well, once again, thank you, Jessica, and I will look forward for the next episode. Hello, Jessica. Are you still there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I was supposed to say anything.
Yeah, you're fine. I know I didn't really make that clear. I'm sorry to the people still listening to the podcast. This just shows my overall awkwardness. Thanks for listening, and once again, this has been NPR Mondays at 8 a.m. with this is the Whole Spectrum podcast, and I appreciate you for listening and giving me views.
Yeah.
Like, comment, do all that stuff. I won't make money anyway, so just do it to make me feel better. Hey, bye.